Welcome to Live Well, Dream Big. I'm Suzanne Monroe, founder of the International Association of Wellness Professionals, where I've been teaching people how to live a life of wellness, tap into their passion, and go for their dreams for over 15 years. I believe living well and dreaming big starts with ourselves. This podcast will show you how to create a healthy, holistic life, empower your mindset, follow your dreams, and make a big impact. Let's dive in right now. Welcome to Live Well, Dream Big. I'm excited for today's episode. Today's episode is a special type of episode, a read aloud, where I'm going to be reading aloud from my book, Live Well, Dream Big, the ultimate guide to becoming your best self and living life on your own terms. And I'm going to be sharing with you some actionable tips and tools as we go along. And really, I want to help you to avoid one of the biggest problems that I see people experiencing today: burnout. Burnout is on the rise. People are more stressed than ever. They're experiencing overwhelm and anxiety, and all of this is mounting and leading to burnout. Now, if you've heard my personal story before, then you know I'm speaking from personal experience here. So we're going to be diving into Wellness 360, which is included in this book, and we're going to be looking at the specific elements that make up Wellness 360 and applying it to burnout, so you can get on with living your best life, feeling more energized, and living well and dreaming big. So join me right now. Hi, everyone. Suzanne Monroe here. I'm excited to be reading aloud today from my book, Live Well, Dream Big, the ultimate guide to becoming your best self and living life on your own terms. And if you've listened to a read aloud episode before, then you know that this is all about popping into the book and talking a little bit about one of the elements of Wellness 360. If you want to learn more about Wellness 360 or get your own copy, you can head over to iawpwellnesscoach.com/guide and get started on your own journey. And we're really talking about how you can overcome your own burnout, get out of stress, and get on the path to reclaiming your life and health. And we're doing it through the lens of Wellness 360 and everything that's in the Live Well, Dream Big book. And so today we're talking about the element of sun, which is one of my favorite elements. And I want to walk you through this element. We're going to talk about the 3 layers that make up the element of sun and how it's interconnected to the other elements, and hopefully give you some actionable tips and tools that you can start applying right away. So let's dive in. Sun. The sun immediately makes us think of sunshine, which has a huge impact on our health in both negative and positive ways. And it's very important to protect our skin from too much sun exposure, but it's also crucial to get some sun exposure so that our body can create that ultra necessary nutrient, vitamin D, because our bones, sleep, mood, and the immune system depends on it. Right? We've spent years kind of avoiding the sun, but then we run into problems with having low vitamin D levels. So it's different for everybody, but it's important to kind of find that balance for yourself. Now, on the external layer of Wellness 360, the goal is to find balance with the sun, making sure you're getting enough sunshine without overdoing it so that you can feel peaceful and strong and well rested while also taking loving care of your skin. So some of this depends on where you live. Some of this depends on your own foods that you're taking in. And so you can actually get your vitamin D levels tested and work with somebody who can support you to make sure you're getting the right amount of vitamin D without overdoing it. Now, on the internal layer of Wellness 360, when we take sun, the element of sun, to the inner layer, think of fire, think of sun, this warmth. This is actually representing inflammation in the body. Okay. So first of all, inflammation is a normal response that the body needs whenever like an injury happens or even germs make our ways into the body. It's the body's way of defending itself and triggering the healing process. So you can feel the fire aspect of inflammation through the heat in your skin. You know, if you get an injury at the infection site, there'll be redness, swelling, pain, or you can experience fevers and aches and pains, right, when you have internal inflammation. But inflammation can also be problematic. So on one level, we need it, but too much of it, and it's not good, right? If your body continues to create inflammation after an injury or infection has passed, then it turns into what we call chronic inflammation. And your body can produce this kind of inflammation without a specific injury, especially in autoimmune diseases and other similar issues. Chronic inflammation can really weaken your body and the immune system and can trigger a whole cascade of other health issues like exhaustion and other illnesses. Now, on the symbolic layer, that third layer, sun represents our internal fire, right? This is all sort of the What does the element really mean? What does it symbolize for you? And our internal fire is really all about our personal power, our creativity, and our willingness to transform. And finding ways to express your creative energy, empower yourself, all feed your internal fire, and they play a role in your well being. So, balancing out the sun element, it can be challenge, but it's a worthy thing to focus on in your wellness journey because the balancing of this element can truly bring you greater health, happiness, and well being. So, let's talk about some ways you can do that to help you to either end burnout or avoid burnout and make sure you're taking care of yourself. The first is to get outside every day in a smart way. You don't need to be out in the sun with your skin unprotected all day long or too long to get, vitamin D benefits. Every person is unique though, so you should do a little homework to determine what's right for you, as we talked about before, right? You can get those vitamin D levels checked. You may also want to consider at that point, based on what your results are, is taking a vitamin D supplement. It has to do with where you live. You might live in a region that gets plenty of sunshine. You have access to this natural way of assimilating vitamin D right out your back door. Or you might live in an area that's always cloudy or doesn't get a lot of sunshine during parts of the year, like I do in Wisconsin. Right now, looking outside, it's cloudy, gray, and pretty cold out there. So vitamin D is pretty low. That's why I take a vitamin D supplement. Now, and I also get my vitamin D levels tested to make sure I'm taking in the right amount. And then finally, increase your anti-inflammatory foods. You want to incorporate certain foods into your diet that help inflammation. I'll just give you some examples: turmeric, ginger, berries, fatty fish, green tea, dark chocolate, avocados, and so many others. You can eat a lot of whole, fresh foods and reduce processed and packaged foods. And then finally, you want to do a Wellness 360 check as it relates to the element of sun. You can look at the Wellness 360 wheel. You can consider how all the other elements might be impacting the element of sun, because with Wellness 360, elements never act by themselves. There's always things that are impacting them. For example, let's say your career is out of balance. Let's say you have a lot of stress and it's impacting your health. It could be causing you to have ongoing stress, which is leading to inflammation in the body, which is impacting the element of sun. I have a story with you to share with you about this, about that, how that happened to one person. I'll share with you in a minute. What else can impact sun? Well, your career again could impact sun on that first layer, external layer, because you're not able to get outside if you're at your job all day that's inside. Right. Let's see what else. There's so many things that can impact it. Even your mindset can impact the element of sun, because on the symbolic layer of sun, we talked about how it's all about your personal power and your creativity. But if your mindset is out of balance somewhere where you're maybe not feeling totally connected to yourself for some other reason from another element, it could impact the element of sun there again. So the whole point here is to consider how the element of sun is unique to you and how these things are interconnected, and then make some small steps to start making changes, right? It's not about overhauling everything at once. And I want to share with you about someone who did just that, Kim Goldtum, who went from super stressed to super woman. And she really went on a journey with the element of sun. Her journey is here in the guidebook. And it's very interesting what happened to her, but she had a career where she was flying across the country, working crazy hours, and really this stress was kind of mounting, but it was kind of unchecked until one day she kind of got this wake-up call and she couldn't get out of bed. And similar to my story, actually, that happened to me as well, but she ended up getting diagnosed with adrenal fatigue, which she didn't know even what it was at the time. But this fits into the category of inflammation. She had this chronic inflammation that was going on for her really at the cellular level. It wasn't able until she was able to address that she was really able to change her life. And so she went through that Wellness 360 journey. Not only did she solve her inflammation and adrenal fatigue, but she learned to tap into her personal power, which is part of the element of sun. These days, she gets to work from home, support clients from all over the world, and making a living, feeling completely fulfilled in her career as a wellness coach, and making a difference in the lives of all the women that she gets to support who are on the same journey as her. I love that story about Kim. You can learn more about it in Live Well, Dream Big. So I recommend check out the guidebook, and I hope to see you for another episode. And in the meantime, take action just on one small thing that we talked about today to help you to end your burnout and to start balancing the Wellness 360 element of sun. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Live Well, Dream Big. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation, and I want to invite you to take your next step toward living well and dreaming big by downloading the Live Well, Dream Big lifestyle book. It's the ultimate guide to becoming your best self and living life on your own terms. You can grab your complimentary copy by going to the link in the show notes or heading directly to iawpwellnesscoach.com/guide. That's iawpwellnesscoach.com/guide.